Hi everyone, I'm here to give my persuasive speech on vacationing in New York City. I have three things that I want to talk about. The best three things to do in New York City is obviously shopping, eating, and sightseeing. So we can start by where to stay in New York City. Every time I go there, I go about 3 times a year, stay at the Grand Hyatt in New York City. The Grand Hyatt is connected to Grand Central Station, and there's actually a pathway where you could just walk straight into Grand Central Station, which is one of the coolest places to go sightseeing. You can actually see the trains go by in Grand Central Station. They have an amazing architecture there. The ceiling above is just unbelievable. And they also have an amazing market of fresh food. They have raw fish, raw meats, delis, bakeries, almost any kind of food you can imagine they have in Grand Central Station, which is right next door to our hotel. And they also have little bakeries too, where you can go and grab a bagel for breakfast. So it's really cool to go straight into Grand Central Station right from your hotel. So another thing is people think it's really expensive in New York. So I wanted to let you know that if you plan at least 2 months in advance, you can get a great rate on your flight to New York, and you can also get a great rate on your hotel. And sometimes you can get them as a package deal together, and the price is way lower as if you just plan a last-minute trip, because that's when the prices start to get more expensive. So Grand Central Station, which is where we stay, is also a very close walk to Times Square, which if you're going to go to New York City, you have to go to Times Square because you always see that on all the posters and postcards and whatnot. So Times Square has great shopping. They have everything from tourist shops with I Love New York t-shirts to surf shops that we have here in Virginia Beach. So there's something for everyone there. And one of my favorite shops in Times Square is the M&M store. It's actually 3 levels. It has an elevator and an escalator to go up all 3 levels, and it's just full of different kinds of M&Ms. You can literally fill up huge bags of M&Ms, and they have M&M t-shirts. Anyways, I'm a sucker for chocolate, so that's one of my favorite places to go in Times Square. They also have a 2-story Starbucks there, which is really fun to go to. You can walk in, and there's this huge TV, and you can actually get a barista to take you and all of your friends' pictures. So that's another really cool thing. They make amazing drinks there. Another thing that's really close to Times Square, which I recommend going to, is this great little restaurant. It's called Stage Deli. It's just a couple blocks off of Times Square. You can look up the address, and they have sandwiches actually named after famous celebrities that have been there and eaten their sandwiches there. So they have sandwiches named after Adam Sandler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Dolly Parton, and not only do they have these huge sandwiches that you can probably only eat half of because they're literally this big, it's ridiculous. They also have the world famous New York cheesecake, which if you go to New York, you're going to have to get a slice of cheesecake, and Stage Deli is definitely the place to go to get it. Another restaurant that's one of my favorites is called Tavern on the Green, and this restaurant is actually located right in the heart of Central Park. So the first time I ever went to New York, my dad actually got me a horse and carriage ride for our whole family to ride right into the heart of Central Park, and we went to Tavern on the Green, which is really cool. What they have is I think 6 separate dining facilities that you can make reservations for. So, and they're all different themes. So they have like a wood room, which everything is wooden in there. And when we go, we stay in this room called the Crystal Room, which actually overlooks a huge garden in Central Park, and it's gorgeous. And they have huge crystal chandeliers. So you can take a horse and buggy right into the heart of Central Park, and they have amazing food there. I definitely recommend going to Tavern on the Green. My last restaurant that I'm going to talk about is called Soho Park, and it's a tiny little restaurant right near Chinatown in Soho. and they serve all organic food, and it's really vegetarian friendly, which is good for me because I'm a vegetarian. And they have this amazing grilled cheese with pesto and tomatoes, and everything they get is fresh from that day, and they bake their own bread there. It's really nice, and they have outdoor seating, and the place is really kind of small, so a lot of the times you have to sit outside. But I definitely recommend going there because we always go to Soho Park, and after we grab a bite to eat, we can walk straight into Chinatown, which Chinatown is a must if you are a big shopper. You have to go there. It definitely has a lot of black market there. They sell fake purses, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. They sell fake Tiffany jewelry. They sell bootlegged DVDs. But I wanted to warn everyone who goes to New York that you have to be really careful because there are cops all over the place in Chinatown, and not only do the people selling get in trouble, you can actually get in trouble for buying the stuff. So you have to be really careful if you go there. I've never gotten in trouble, but I don't usually buy too much stuff because I always get really bad anxiety and I get really nervous. So, I mean, you definitely have to go and check it out, but be careful for sure. So there's Chinatown, and not only is the shopping really cool in Chinatown and getting to see everyone bootlegging and buying and bargaining, but it's actually like a whole different culture down there, which is really cool. They have real authentic Chinese food. You can be walking down the street and there will be dead ducks. It's really grossed me out, but dead ducks hanging from the window that people go in there and buy and bring home. And there's also like a fish market down there with all these dead fish and seafood that they get right out of, I guess, the Hudson. I really have no idea, but all fresh fish and fried duck, I guess. I've never really tried any of it because I'm a vegetarian and it kind of makes me nauseous when I go there. But it's really cool to see a different perspective. And that's what's really great about New York. It's really diverse there, so that's cool to get to look at. One of my other favorite things to do in New York is go to a Broadway show. I feel like if you're in New York, you definitely have to go to a Broadway show. Last time I went, which was in December, I, for the first time, saw Lion King, and it was absolutely amazing. And I'm sure you guys have probably heard people talk about Lion King, but definitely if you get a chance to go to New York, that's the #1 show that I would recommend seeing. I literally got teary-eyed watching Lion King, and it's like a Disney movie, so that must show you that it's really great. But also, we usually go during Christmas time, so I've seen some other really great shows. I've seen Beauty and the Beast. That's a really good one. And we also saw an off-Broadway show production of The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and they actually made it snow in the theater. So that was another really cool thing that I got to do in New York. And also, if you're going to go during wintertime, which any time of the year is great, I go during the summertime too. It's kind of hot, but I like to go during the wintertime because they literally decorate the whole city. You can see the huge Christmas tree near the Rockefeller Skating Center. And I've actually been ice skating right under the huge Christmas tree. And so that's really cool. And then when you walk down the streets, there are literally like huge ornaments and candy canes and tinsel that they literally decorate the whole city. I showed you the shopping, the sightseeing, and the food are definitely 3 reasons why I recommend that you visit New York. It's almost better than going to a tropical island because in my opinion, it's the same thing when you go to a tropical island, but in New York, your vacation differs every single time you go, and I've never had a bad time in New York City. Rain or shine, it's always been fun and there's always something to do. So I definitely hope I have persuaded you guys to take a vacation to New York City. Thanks.